What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and we've got a fun one for you guys today, and we're stepping outside of McFarlane for the first time in a while and taking a look at some different DC Comics action figures. These are the Kingdom Come Shazam and Superman from Gong Studio, sold through Pop Mart. These guys are, I had never heard of Pop Mart or Gong Studios before I saw these floating around on Instagram. And man, they look so good, I had to pick them up. So we're gonna take a look at these guys together. Let's take a look at the packaging real quick. First, the packaging's fairly simple. And it's funny because the front is nice images of the Kingdom Come logo and the logos of the characters, and you think, oh, that's pretty cool. They're not doing like the NECA thing where the package pops open, you can take a look at the figures, or like McFarlane where you just see the figures through the package immediately. You don't see them. It's going to be kind of blind, and then oh gosh, you turn them around and there they are. You got a little peekaboo window in the back. You can see a little bit of your action figure in there. But we will not spend too much time on the packaging. It's fairly simple. We will get these guys open and take a look at them in the flesh and out of the package, and yeah, these guys are freaking cool. Now, what's something interesting is the Shazam, his cape was not on inside the package. It actually came in this separate envelope here. It is a wired cape, and you had to kind of feed it through the back of his medallion and then pull it up, and then you can kind of put the hood there however you want it. If you want it laying down, or it can come up and kind of cover more of his head. Wired, very malleable cape. Show you guys how to do that. Not too hard at all. I just thought it was funny that it didn't come attached. That was pretty funny. And they also come with a little instruction manual to show you how to, they come with an extra set of hands, pair of fists, shows you how to kind of take those off and put them on.
Yeah, and I don't know what Superman's into, but apparently he has a fisting hand. So,
the fisting hand, yeah. Yeah, well, these were probably translated, and that sometimes, you get those funny translations like fisting. But no, these are very cool. These are very, very cool, actually. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Shazam first, and the cloth goods on this. These are cloth goods, and I know you're looking at them, and it's like, man, that almost looks like plastic. It is so form-fitted to these action figures that it does look like plastic, but these are cloth goods. This is, I would say, Hot Toys quality. Now, these are 1/12 scale, so that's about 6 inches. These are 6-inch figures. He's got his sash, which actually moves. It's actually got a little hinge.
That's cool, and it stays in place.
It stays in place, yeah. So he's got his sash that hinges and moves. And I love and both of them have the kind of 5 o'clock shadow, Alex Ross style that you get from the drawings that he has done and his iconic art. Probably one of my favorite comic artists, so I always love the Kingdom Come style figures just for his art style.
Yeah, and what I've seen some people comment is most of the heroes that he draws looks very similar to himself. So he's putting a lot of himself into
these. He's literally putting himself into his work. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And then if you actually look at the head sculpts and the face sculpts on these two, they look pretty similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this Shazam is very cool. Definitely Kingdom Come Shazam. Love the cape, love that it is wired. The Superman's cape is not wired. We'll get to that in a little bit when we talk more about him. But yeah, it's very, very classic looking Shazam. Got the gold boots and the gold gauntlets, and love the cape.
Almost like the cloak that he wears.
Like the cloak, yeah. So you can have him cover his head. That would be cool as a Black Adam figure too. If they ever do any more of these, make a little Black Adam figure. That would be pretty cool.
Even the stitchings that they have on there, really well done. So I mean,
yeah, there's almost no seams. Like you almost can't even tell that the seams are there. They're so small.
No seams. Yeah, even not hardly any on the cape itself. God, these are really well done.
Really well done.
I said, for a company I've never heard of until you basically bought these and showed them to us.
Right.
So.
Right, yeah. They both have the same general points of articulation, and these are very well articulated figures. So we will go ahead and go through those real quick. Of course, you've got the head, which goes actually a pretty good upward position for that head, so you can actually get them into some good flying positions when you're doing your figure photography or anything like that. You've got the shoulders, the bicep swivel here. I got wrist articulation, the hands up, down, all around. Waist articulation, twist at the waist. And what's really cool is these outfits are so tight, but they do not limit really that articulation all that much, and it doesn't hurt the outfit at all. It doesn't stretch it out. Like when you move it around, it goes right back into position as soon as you get that figure back where you want it. We got the leg. I think the one downside is, though, because the suits are so tight, you see where those articulation points are, especially down here at the leg. You see that that dip there where the leg articulation is, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things I do like about these is the way they design those with the cloth over them. It kind of like shows off like the different muscles and everything like that in a different way than we'll say like the multiverse heroes or figures are.
Yeah, like the McFarlane?
Yeah, the McFarlane ones.
Where you kind of see all of the articulation points more so than you see the shape of the figure.
And that's what I like something about these is on those, the McFarlane multiverses, they kind of have like that torso kind of that exposed like this. You don't see that.
You don't see that.
Here.
You don't see that.
I really like that feature. That's one of the kind of the drawbacks that I'm not super keen on with those others, but these, I like that.
No, I agree 100%. That's my least favorite articulation point on the McFarlanes. You see it a lot. We just talked about the Adam West Batman. We've got the Superman 78 coming up, and you really see it more so on those less muscular looking figures because it's more stark on those bodies.
Yeah, if they did a little bit more painting to kind of blend it in, maybe you wouldn't be able to notice it, but this,
no, you can't tell.
The way they do it.
you can't tell at all. I mean, that articulation point is there. You can feel it, but you don't see it at all. It just looks like muscles under the suit. Very cool. So yeah, you do have the thigh articulation there, the thigh twist. So you got the double jointed knees, double jointed elbows, the foot, ankle, and you can kind of rock it, twist it, all of that kind of thing.
Even though it looks kind of loose how you're doing it, like right there, I mean, it's still super sturdy, and he's able to stand.
They are sturdy,
issues,
yeah.
So.
It is a bit. I will say these are at the feet a bit looser than the McFarlane as far as the attachment point. But yes, you're correct. It does not limit the ability to stand at all. These do not come with stands, so you either have to find one or you have to just hope your figures will stand up. And so far, these stand up just fine. So there is no reason at all, I think, to have a stand unless you want to put them in like a running pose or something like that.
The hands, how easy are those two?
The hands are pretty easy to pop off, so you just kind of pull right there, and it's got.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, you got the ball joint there, but the hands are a bit finicky, and it is something that I saw online with people talking about these. Some people were having issues with the hands, the extra hands, especially on the fists, not having a big enough hole there for the peg to fit into, and some people were different sized. Like they would be a different size in one hand versus the other, so people were having to kind of drill those out. And when we get to Superman, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but the Superman on this one has actually a bigger issue than that. In fact, I'll kind of go over it right now. It's almost like the ball joint is split in half, and so when you pull the hand off, half of the ball joint comes out with the hand and is stuck inside that hand. So you have to pop that back out, reattach it, and then be able to attach your alternate hands or attach this hand back on. It fits right back on just fine. It does not harm the ability for it to twist and turn and get it into all of the poses you need it into. But that is some kind of disappointing quality control, especially for figures that look as good as these look. So we'll get back to Superman in just a second. We'll finish up here with Shazam. But yeah, excellent articulation all around on these guys. But the star of the show is just the appearance itself. I mean, these guys are just so very cool looking. Do you have any additional thoughts on the Shazam before we move on to Superman?
I was just going to say, with the Shazam, they did it with Superman as well, but they actually went into great detail with showing age in his face, you know, and that's just not something.
A little salt and pepper in the hair.
Yeah, a little salt and pepper, but it almost looks like he's got some, like, you know, additional wrinkles, like in the face. You know?
He does have some,
so
yeah.
I think that's really cool. That I'm just blown away by these. I know you've been hiding them.
Yeah, I have.
So I haven't seen them at all. So
yeah, and the only place I'd seen them were, like I said, all over Instagram. But in hand, yeah, they look even better than what I was seeing on Instagram. These are really cool. Not super cheap. So when they first dropped, I think they were about $70-$75, and they're kind of
in or both.
A piece.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're in that range now. Some are selling a bit more now, obviously, on eBay now that they're not all over the place. So not the cheapest figures, definitely more than a McFarlane action figure, an inch shorter. But quality-wise, you can see why.
It's probably the cloth.
It's the cloth. They had to get some serious seamstresses in to get those as tailored as they are. We'll go ahead and rate these separately. So we'll give Shazam our BSing rating now. Chris, what are you going to give this Shazam? So good, yeah. I'm going to give this Shazam a so good as well. Now we'll go ahead and move on to Superman, and That is a quintessential Kingdom Come looking Superman if I've ever seen one. Like you were saying about the Shazam, he's still got that age in the face. The gray temples as, after your own heart.
Yeah, exactly. This cape is really awesome. You said this one doesn't have the wire like the Shazam.
The Superman's cape is not wired, right?
I like the feel of this
It
cape.
feels good.
This is awesome.
It's a nice feeling cape.
Just like the cloth, the material that they used in general, like, golly, this is really cool.
I mean, it's just so form like I said, this one especially, the Shazam's looks a little more cloth. This one looks, when I first saw this and opened this package up, I was like, are you sure that's not plastic? Because that looks, it's even got like a little bit of sheen to it. It really does look
like plastic.
Yeah. Colors pop really, really well. Like I said, the only downside to this one were those hand joints. I have reached out to Pop Mart. I don't know if they're going to do anything about that. I doubt it. But yeah, that's really the only downside to this figure that I can see is, potential, or these figures in general, I guess, because there have been multiple reports about the hands and, the pegs not fitting into the fist the way that they should. But they just look so good. I love the symbol. I love the Kingdom Come symbol. And this one just goes across his entire chest. Just looks right out of the comic book.
Right out of the comic book. And yeah, the way the cape is tucked into the collar, that's really great.
So it's sewed in on the sides, and I actually tucked it a little bit more in the back because it was looser in the back when I pulled it out of the box, but I tucked that in just a little bit more to make it drape just a little bit nicer. And now this, like we said, this is not a wired cape, and I do like the wired capes because you can get some really cool posing shots and things like that. But what I really like about this one, I think you touched on it a little bit, is when you have him just standing there, the way it just sits on his body, it just looks so natural. Because with the wired capes, a lot of times, and even you're seeing it a little bit on Shazam right here, it kind of sticks out in the back. It doesn't sit as flush. It doesn't look like it's draping like a real cape would look if you were wearing a cape and standing there. This one also, we were talking about like the same points of articulation, so we won't go through it on him, but his ankles are even a little bit looser than Shazam. So you got to be a little bit more careful when you're standing him up, but still, he just goes right back into position just fine. Looks great.
Like I said, yeah, this has got to be one of my favorite figures. This quality is just...
It's insane.
It's impressive. It's very impressive.
I hope they make more of these.
I just noticed his spit curl is also off his forehead.
It is off his forehead a little bit, yeah.
So that was a really cool little detail.
Lifts up off of there. I also like, if you look at the detail in their hair, they've got like the wave patterns and the directional patterns that actual hair would have when you have it combed back like that. So just the attention to detail in these is nuts. I'm just super impressed with these. I think I said in the Adam West Batman video, we were talking about, is that a figure of the year? It's a crying shame that these weren't nominated. I think these definitely should have been. I said that McFarlane Superpowers Bizarro was so far my favorite figure of this year. I think these guys might overtake that right now.
I 100% agree with you on that. These are my favorite figures this year.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we got to give Superman a separate rating. Then we gave Shazam. What is your rating for Kingdom Come Superman?
Another so good.
Yep. You know what? Because of the issues with his hands, I am going to drop that down a little bit. He's a very, very high good. I'm actually going to split this rating in two. So appearance-wise, that is a so good. The overall quality, because of the hand issue and because that's not just an isolated thing and there have been things being reported in multiple places, got to give it a little bit of a ding on that for the quality control. So you drop that down to a good, evens out to a very, very high good, almost a so good. Overall, man, yeah, like as a pair, as a unit, it's hard to give it anything less than a so good. It hurts me to knock that down to a good. But I have to be fair.
I'm proud of you for doing that.
I have to. I know you're usually being harsher on the Superman than I am. No, I have to do that just because if we want to do some figure photography or something like that, that's going to make that a whole lot more difficult to do it. So got to take that into consideration. But these are awesome. And if you have not picked these up, I highly recommend, if you can find them for a good price, don't look on eBay. Do not look on eBay. Last I looked, Pop Mart still had the Superman. Shazam was sold out. If we can find some places that are selling these for decent prices, we'll let you know down in the description. Or keep an eye on our Instagram. We always throw information on there that we don't always put on YouTube. So if you are not following us on Instagram, definitely do that. Yeah, I can't, not much else to say about them. They're pretty freaking cool.
No, yeah. The only thing I can say is the colors that they also picked out for each of their costumes. Spot on.
Oh.
This isn't the typical, bright blue Superman. It's
Right.
that darker blue. And, it is a lot like Brandon Routh's, CW
That one.
Superman. This looks just like that costume that he wore there. Spot on as well.
Highlights even more how well done that CW costume was on a CW budget, that they had such an accurate Kingdom Come Superman suit on that show.
More to talk about CW stuff later on.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, guys, if you can find these, definitely recommend picking them up. These are Hot Toys quality figures at a 6-inch scale at a third of the price. So you can't go wrong with these if you are on the hunt for some really well done figures that are going to look great on display. And these guys are going to stand out on display too, because if you've got like a lot of McFarlane toys or even some Hot Toys, these are going to stand out because against the Hot Toys, because they're smaller, but they're right there with the same quality. They're going to stand out against any of the McFarlanes. And what's actually pretty cool is you could take, there are some good 6-inch scale Superman figures as well from like Mafex. You could almost put them this one next to a Mafex Superman and have it look like that Superman evolved into the Kingdom Come Superman. So yeah, definitely recommend picking these up, guys, if you can find them. They are very, very good. Just be aware that you may have some issues with the extra hands. Now, there's actually, forgot to mention, there was and I don't even know if this is still on sale, there was a special edition that came out that actually had 2 additional head sculpts as well.
Oh, wow.
Or I should say 2 additional, 1 additional head sculpt for each of the figures. Did not pick that one up, didn't even know that one existed until a few days ago when I was preparing for this video. So if any of you out there have that or have these, drop us down a note in the comments. Let us know what you think of those head sculpts.
I was going to say, I don't want to try it, but I wonder if these guys' heads pop off.
They do. I know that because I accidentally popped Superman's head off when I was taking him out of the package. But yeah,
I missed you doing that.
It pops off pretty easily.
Oh,
so yeah. It pops up pretty easily and then pops right back on pretty easily. So,
all right. Well, I'm glad you did it, not me.
If I ever can track down some of those additional head sculpts, I might pick those up. I'm probably not going to repurchase the figures just for them.
I was going to say, if you want to, you can go ahead and get those. Just give these to me.
Sure. Yeah. Maybe we'll work something out. But guys, yeah, let us know what you think about these boys down in the comments. Let us know if you agree or disagree how good these are. Let us know if you have them and what you think of them, where you have them displayed. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And again, if you are not following us on Instagram, please do, because we're going to be posting a lot more pics and videos of these guys on Instagram going forward. We've got some fun poses I have in mind to pop up on there. So that will do it for this video. Guys, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We are a growing channel and we would definitely love to have you guys on board. If you are subscribed or if you aren't subscribed, drop down, give this video a like. Again, drop those comments and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Have a great one, guys.
Going to stand out against any of the McFarlanes, possibly even the Mafex